So I'm Kasun Pathirana, so I'm a solution lead. I just started this week at Tuco Consultancy. Yeah. And I've been working with Power Platform and FNO, basically. So my background is from FNO for 14 years. Yeah. And I also do Power Platform as well, and then CE as well. So I've done sales and field service stuff as well. Yeah. And do a ride.
365 bits.
Yeah, that's my side. Yeah, my side.
Seen you done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, check you out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one.
So you have, yeah, I got my YouTube, I got my website, and yeah, so reach me there. And also I have the, I'm running the Sri Lankan Microsoft Biceps user group as well, because I'm originally from Sri Lanka. And so that's also been done by me. I'm the main organizer on that side as well. Yeah. And apart from that, I love cricket. I played for Grafton, I played for UCC, and I'm playing for Kumayu now.
You're playing for
Kumayu Cricket Club. Yeah.
Oh, Kumu.
Yeah. And I do love hiking and running as well. Yeah, that's my hobby. So free to get in touch if you like those as well. Yeah. I never come across anyone in MVP world who's playing cricket, so I'm still looking for it. No, I mean leather, hardboard. Oh. Yeah, okay, this is the agenda. So I'm going to talk about the generative AI because that's pretty much the, how the AI hype came into picture, right? That's the generative AI. And then impact to the AI evolution of the ERP, like how the evolution from 1990 until today with the AI and everything, right? Pilots versus agents. So what's the difference between copilot and agents? And then the business application copilots, which I'm going to talk about, highlight which are the ones I'm going to talk about. And common copilot experiences in FNO. I'll show demo as well. And D365 FO copilots as well. Demonstration. How do you extend the copilot, in D365 FNO? So basically you can extend using Copilot Studio, as well as you can extend using the X++ code. So you can get, extend from the code itself as well. So I'll show how you can do that. Agents, a bit more about the agents that recently, we have agents which Charles Laman announced. 10 agents there, but I'm going to discuss about 4 agents, which is relevant for ERP setup. And what is critical for Copilot and agents, and also the responsible AI as well, because I really love to talk about the responsible AI. I have done few sessions. Last year I did the responsible AI as well, so it's still in the YouTube as well. Feel free, you bit advocate on the responsible AI and what's critical for the co-pilots and agents to be successful. So I'm going to talk about that as well. Let's move with that. So what is generative AI? So generative AI pretty much it mimics the human behavior. So if you have heard about the Turing test, so Turing, which came with the 1940s somewhere, that if it's behaving as a human, then can you identify it's a human or it's AI, right? That's what it is. The human mimics human behavior with the Gen AI, and it interacts with the environment and also execute the task without explicit instructions. That means that you don't need to code for all scenarios. Can ask using the Gen AI the question and then it will give you the answer. You don't need to build all their scenarios because Gen AI has that capability of predicting and looking at the historical things and everything and then answer you. So it doesn't need to code everything. So that's the other beauty of the Gen AI, right? It generates the original content, which everyone have tried it. That they're generating the original content. So you can generate images, you can generate text, summarize all this beautiful stuff. And the best part of the ChatGPT, it took only 2 months to achieve 100 million. So that's the beauty of ChatGPT, how fast it took to 100 million, and in Netflix took 18 years itself, right? And idea prompt. So if you have an idea, you can go and prompt it, and then LLM can give you the output. Much how we would try, right? Okay, let's come to impact of AI evolution for ERP. So if you start from 1990s, see how it goes. This is the early ERP era, right? You have basic automation, simple databases, integration, reporting, basic, right? That's how it started. And you have client server process centric model. So that's the model it used to be at that time. And then you have the integration phase. So the integration phase, and think of in 2000s, you see web-based come into the picture and early cloud solutions, and then the basic analytics, right? We didn't have Power BI that time, but we have some basic analytics, right? And
export to crystal reports.
yeah, exactly. And then the era of 2000 to 2023, so it's a smart ERP with some sort of AI integrations, like ML implementations. You can see like example like the forecasting stuff. Forecasting, you use a lot of ML implementations that time, and mainstream cloud ERP. A lot of the cloud ERP came into picture during this time. Then the real-time analytics came. That's where the real-time analytics and the Power BI. So I started working in 2015, 16, where the Power BI came. So it's wonderful, right? So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. And now, right, what has happened? Now it's the copilots, AI-powered automations, agents. That's where we are now. And it's moving towards more autonomous and the consumption-based model. That is what it is. Okay, co-pilots and agents. So I took this picture from Charles Lamana's deck from the Microsoft Business Applications launch event. This is about co-pilot and agents. And if you think about the co-pilot, that's one-to-one. So one person, it's like a personal assistant, basically, one-to-one interaction. But if you talk about agents, one person involving with multiple agents, right? It could be 100, it could be 1,000, depending on the process that you want to do and the process you want to do, right? There's a lot of autonomous expert systems involved in that. And Copilot and agents, so we have, the UI is changing. If you think about the CE as well, like UI is changing. You can directly talk to the sales experience, and then you can think all the latest forms and stuff like that. What's the data, and then you can, on top of it. So the UI will be changing, evolving at the moment. I think we are not in the final stage yet. So it is keep evolving and seeing what is going to come out of it with the UI. And you have workflows and you have data here. And then the Copilot can be used as a UI as well. So that's how it's going to come. And the agents, and then the knowledge is key, right? We will see more on this type stuff later on. Okay, so the Microsoft Business Applications Copilot. So these are the Copilots, which there are a lot of products and there are a lot of Copilots in it. I don't know number of Copilots now we have. One point of time there was like 160, but I don't know now the count. And finance, project operations, supply chain management, commerce, Microsoft Copilot Studio. These are the ones I'm going to talk about today, which is relevant for ERP, but there's Business Central as well for the medium market. There has been some agents which has been discussed recently on sales order creation stuff. So Business Central as well. So there's an agent that you can use. So there's other stuff as well, but I'm going to focus on these areas today. Okay, so if we talk about common Copilot experiences, these are the three ways that we can have it in F&O. So one is the sidecar. So it's like inside on the right hand side, you have a sidecar. You click on it, and then you'll get expand the Copilot. It's similar to the case as well, which you have in the CE, and then you get the conversational companion that you can do the conversation on that. And then you can embed some workspaces. So in F&O, finance and operations, you have workspaces that is, giving to do your task, separate task and stuff like that. So if you're a purchasing department, then you have purchasing department workspaces. So that this is like a confirmed purchase order. So if you have purchase orders which are not confirmed, maybe because of date changes or maybe still not finalized yet, then you can see all those things with that. Then you have outside external agents. So that's the external agents help to orchestrate. That is very much, it is M365. So you can pretty much ask you how much quantity for maybe, let's say you have laptops. You can ask, how many laptops I have. Then that is inside Teams, but it's actually using the M365 Copilot, using the virtual entities, and you can get the answers directly there. Yeah, that's something that the finance and operations today can do. That's wonderful. Like, you don't need to go into the application. You can directly conversate and then get the information. So, common copilots across the Dynamics 365 finance and operations. So we have chat with finance and operations data. So this is the one which I was talking about now. Enable interaction with the financial operation data through Microsoft 365 Copilot. Behind the scene, it's using the virtual entities. So there are certain virtual entities that can be enabled, and based on that, if you ask the question, Microsoft from the Microsoft 365 Copilot, it can fetch you and give you the answers. I'll go into detail like how the structure would look like. And the generative help and guidance, there is this one, so that you can ask on the side bar. That's where you can ask the questions. And then the workflow history summary. So this was a painful one, workflow history summary earlier. It used to summarize workflow history for better tracking and understanding. So basically what happens is, like, if you have a workflow that you don't know, like maybe there's 10 people involved, you don't know where it is at the moment, but it can summarize and give you where it is. So that's a beautiful application on the use case, pretty much on the FNO side of it. Yeah. And yeah, so this is, if you see, this is the chat with the finance and operations app. So if you see that this is where, what is the availability of laptops, how many number of laptops, and then it give you the answer, right? So this is generating, looking at the M365, but calling the data is coming from FNO, pretty much. That's the beauty of it. So it is getting advanced. We advance day by day, and I believe the next step, maybe there will be some certain key phrases or key prompts that will be there that you can directly call on, and then you can get the answer based on that. How it does is basically, this is the mechanism it's used. So when a user asks the question, like how many laptops I have, it sends there's a copilot orchestrator that sends the NL query, and then it'll go into the Dataverse, and then there's called Dataverse kill, and then try to retrieve the list of skills available to the user. And then this is the Dataverse again, so that input the question, what is available, and then you can see fetch. It is using fetch XML, and these are the virtual entities mostly. Then it is going to fetch the data from the Dataverse and then pass it back to the user. That's how the flow it looks here. Right. So
What is the business skills? What was it? Business skills catalog? Business search.
Business search skills catalog. So under the hood, that they're building the skills. So basically, I think, like, if you think about the Copilot Studio as well, you can build in the skills. Copilot Studio, there's a similar concept they're using there. Or if you want to add in new skills to the skills and capabilities on that, you can use it. But I think this is under the hood that they have built in these skills so that it can answer certain queries. Yeah. So this is the for the finance side of it, because you have Dynamics 365 finance operations, you have supply chain, and then the finance. So specifically for finance, you have the collections coordinator. So if you're collecting, the amounts from the customers and stuff like that, it summarizes and give you the related information. So example like this. So if you go to the customer, then you can get the summary by the Copilot. So what are how many invoices are pending? So the customer has been sent 0 invoices in the previous 6 months, and all these details summarize here, right? So you can see what's the customer and what is the summary and all the details, and then whether the collection letter sent and all those details. But this is where the Copilot comes into play, where it summarizes. Yeah, you don't need to take much time, because previously you have to go and find it out all this and then summarize it. But give you a good summary. Yeah. And so this is on the SCM side. We have AI summaries. I'll demo some of them here. So I'll show the AI summaries, warehouse management, mobile insight, purchase order changes review, and an inventory inquiry review. So this is pretty much for intelligent inventory investigations, that you can use the inventory inquiry preview, and then the demand planning. So demand planning is basically for you. There's an app for the FNO that you can do the demand planning separately, and that's pretty much a model-driven app, and you can get the data from FNO, and then you can run the forecasting, and then forecasting can be put it back to FNO again, right? And you have the copilot on top of it, and you can see the data on top of it using the copilot here. AI summaries, we have vendor summary, purchase order summary, customer summary, sales order summary, product detail summary, and product summary. When you're hovering over the item, you can get some information as well from the item. So all these summaries are available, which is very useful for the customer side of it, because they can see at a glance what has happened. Because have a small order may not be relevant because it's just a one order, but if you have 100 lines, you can think of like you cannot summarize straight away, right? So that summary would be very helpful. Okay, so this is the warehouse management mobile app. So I'll show this one as well. So you can see when the worker is logging to the warehouse for picking purpose, that he can see how much the outbound, which is pending. This is good, but I mean, it can be improved with a certain filtering as well, because now it's giving all the data here, but it can be filtered. I mean, if you can have filtering capability as well, it'll be wonderful. Yeah. Okay, let me go into the system, and then we'll see some of this as well. So I'm in FNO. Let me again. Network has lost. Okay, let me go to the item numbers and show you some of the item summarizing. So now I'm opening item, but you can see it's already generating the summary here. See, surface 128 GB has how much available inventory here. It's like 410 inventory is available here, so it is summarizing and giving you. Straight away, these capabilities are added in as part of that. And if you go to the purchase orders as well, let's go to the purchase orders, and you would see some other information on how the purchase order would be summarizing as well. So if you go to the accounts payable, all purchase orders, and you will see the purchase order summarization as well. We have 3 lines here, and in the summary, you can see that the orders consist of 3 lines, and in case all the 3 lines have been fully received, but not fully invoiced. So you can read the status and see where it is, right? That's good, that you can summarize all these things, and you can have the insights as well. With that one, maybe I think probably it's a good time to do a question. So
One?
yeah,
Can you talk to it? So not rather than choosing one from the menu, drop-down menu, can you just talk to it, like tell me about my order statuses or?
You mean the status is just to talk to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it's coming with the M365. Like when you have the dual right enabled, the virtual entities, when you enable the virtual entities, that is there. But that haven't, I mean, if you want to do that, you can incorporate with that, with the copilot here. I'm going to touch based on that one as well. So how you extend it. So this is behind, it's a copilot studio, which is running it. I'll quickly show that as well.
Because to get this inside, the user still needs to be quite capable to understand where he wants it to pull out.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the more help could be provided if you just talk to the system.
Yeah, that's where they're coming at. That was the one which I was showing, like how much the inventory and all those things, that then it can give you the stock and everything. But if you want to include that capability, you could put it as a copilot, because you have a general guidance copilot here, and you can extend the copilot from using the copilot studio. So
it's the same result.
It will give you the result, but you have to have to use the you have two ways of doing it. So you have to use the existing the Copilot Studio normal out of the box Copilot Studio extension, or using the X++. You can directly call the X++ actions, right? So example, like I can change the color on this ribbon, but that is actually, I mean, I can do manually, but I can call an action to do it. Like if I type it here, like change the ribbon color, then it will change the ribbon color. It's calling that X++ action. Yeah. So similarly, you can do that. I mean, probably you might need the X++. I'm not sure at this moment you need X++ plus the Copilot or just the X++. If you do that, but you have to extend the Copilot, which is there. Yeah, the guidance, help and guidance Copilot. Yeah.
Question, would it struggle with manufactured products? So if it's configured with a bill of materials? Worked with FO where it's been a manufactured product and you've got a bill of materials and it's configured. So would Copilot be able to look at it and say, it's a manufactured product, it's got XYZ 100 configurations, we need 2 of these, 3 of these, would it be able to summarize and say what's in stock?
I think the BOMs, they currently don't have a summarization, but if you want to build it, yeah, I think it's possible to do it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I could see
possible
we
to do it,
struggle
yeah.
at the moment to try and do it.
Yeah. Could you probably need to use the X++ actions because that will be directly calling that functionality rather than leveraging on the generative. I mean, you have to leverage on generative AI, but certain things you have to generate on the actions. Yeah, you have to be direct on what or the prompt and everything. So if you have the action, then you know what exactly the prompt has to be, and you can call and then you run the X++ actions on top of it. Then you can get the result. Yeah.
Sorry, just a really quick one.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's okay. Thanks. Across all the purchase orders, sorry, if you may have already shown it, but is there a summary across the purchase orders for example, like you have these purchase orders with products inside that are unfulfilled, that be able to be rolled up across all purchase orders instead of drilling into each individual one?
I mean, you can build a report, or either you could, if you build the skills kind of a thing, then you can possibly think of building such way of doing it, like give you the high level summary of that, like how many purchase orders, how many pending, and all those things. But we have the way of doing it, like we have the workspaces. You can do that the same thing using the workspaces. So you can filter, like example, like how many invoiced ones. I can this as an invoiced, and then I can create this as a workspace, and then let me show you just a quick one. But that doesn't need any modification as such. You can use the standard one to do that. You filter the invoice ones, and then you create a view, and then publish into the workspace, and then the workspace would have how many invoiced ones, how many pending ones, and then you can see the results. So like, I'll quickly show how it looks like. Finance and operations here. So let's see. 1 to 10. See, you see the so I can actually filter that and then put it in here, the workspace. So I know how much invoiced, how much received, all those things. Like if you want to get that kind of a quick glance. But if you want to have a fancy way of like typing in and getting all the results, yeah, then it has to be then a Copilot. Yeah. This is out of the box basically. Yeah. Right. So I was talking about the other one is the Copilot here. So if I try to say, so this is actually grounded with the FNO data. So I would say, what are the D365 FO Copilot features? it'll, because the because it's grounded with all the FNO data on the Microsoft Learn, it'll fetch me all the details here. You can see that all the details here, these are the ones. And then it also gives me the link. I can directly go to the link and then find out the information as well. So that's pretty much what it does. But that's the one which you can improve and enhance. So example, like, so this is the Copilot. And then if you go back, Copilot Studio, which is linked to the same environment, you can find the Copilot for finance and operations here. And that's where I can add knowledge, I can add topics, and make extended. So what I did, I actually did the Microsoft.com as a public website here. And by right, it shouldn't be answering anything on Xbox because it's not trained for Xbox, right? But if I ask on Xbox Series here now, to give me, hopefully, yeah. So the demo board is working, that's fine. So the Xbox Series, you can see all the Xbox Series data, but it's actually not trained on because there's no document on the Xbox on the documentation, but because I use this public website to train the same bot, or the Copilot, and then I can retrieve all the information. Similarly, I can do documentation, like if you have a user guide, because different users have different companies have different way of achieving the same thing, different steps. Be the same. You have company A, company B, but the steps are different. But if you want to put the user guide here, and then you can prompt it and get the user guide there. That's the beauty of that. But if it and you can have topics, you can have actions. So the actions will be the ones which need to be, like you can ask, like example, like you can ask weather and all those things. But similarly, you can train it to get data directly by the action. So that is specific. Because the actions you can use all the Power Automate to call that functionalities basically.
One more thing.
Yeah.
The C terms, is that company related?
What?
Is that company configurable? The C terms.
This one.
And that
Make
makes
sure AI
company
generated.
configurated?
Not sure. This is either the terms from the Microsoft, I believe.
I'm assuming it is, but I just thought that's.
Yeah. This is, I think, part of the licensing, I believe. Make sure AI generated.
Looks like a no.
This is like I think this is, probably this is, can be probably configured, but I never tried this one, to be honest. Yeah, but that's, I think we're linking to something.
Oh, that goes directly to Microsoft because maybe
It's a currently going to Microsoft. I'm not sure whether
Because
that's
you-
been.
use Microsoft as your database.
Yeah. But anyway, this is not going to see by the site because this is internally when you're building it. So I'm not sure can be changed and then the purpose behind it.
I'll have a play there.
Yeah. So this is the site which I use. So that's where the data is coming in from the Xbox.
Yeah, I don't play Xbox.
Right. Okay. So this is the Copilot for the guidance. Pilot. So let me show another one as well. This is the warehouse management one. Let me log off. So if I log off and then I log in, and I'll show you how it will come in. So if you are a warehouse user, come into his work and then just open it up, and I can see how much for that warehouse, how many counting, outbound, replenishment, inbound, all. If you do a new order, it actually changed. So I checked it as well. So this one, it is actually changing. So if I go back and come back again, it'll update the latest figure. Yeah, it's good. It is good, but I would like to have some filters on top of it because I don't want to see everything, but I want to filter for certain information. So then I can see. And if you're wondering where the setup is, this is where the setup is. Like see here. The show Copilot on startup. it's enabled, then you can see it. But if it's not enabled, then you won't see it when you log in. Yeah. Yeah. So, right. You can ask some questions, right? Okay, so this is about the commerce. If you have worked with the Dynamics 365 commerce, so you have customer insights, store report insight, statement postings, merchandising process. So they have site builder assistant. So all these, like you can use the AI. But like I have some examples. So if you see the customer insights, so this is the customer, and it gives you all the summary of the the transaction, like the purchase pattern, and you can spark a conversation. So this is helpful. Like if you know that customer has been coming every day, and these are the things that might be interested, you can cross sell, upsell, and all those things, right? You can find more information, insight on the customer, right? That's a good use case of Copilot because pretty much you don't need to go and summarize. You have the summarization already there. See the customer. Yeah. Similarly, you have about the products as well. You can use to summarize certain details on the item as well, same way. And then also site builders. So when you're using the site builders, you probably come across the Power Pages as well. Power Pages does the same thing. So you do the summarization of the content here, right? The same concept. You summarize the content. You can generate the content using that. Yeah, pretty much. And you have project operations, you have a project overview, time entry assistance. So pretty much the time entry can also use the Copilot to generate the time entry. So yeah, that's pretty much these on the project operations part of it. So extending Copilot. So this is what I was mentioning on the X++ execution. So you can extend two ways. So you can extend the way I was showing the Copilot. That's pretty much a low code way of extending it. Then the other one is the X++ action. So you can call the X++ actions on top of it. Yeah. That's where the magic will be more because you directly can call the X++ actions. Yeah.
When you use a no code one,
Yeah.
does it customize according to like how long you talk to it?
Yeah, it will learn. The more you will
Does it get custom?
yeah, you can make it custom. Like you can have custom actions. You can have custom. That was the one which I was showing here. The custom actions here. You see here, you have the action. So the action is pretty much if you think of like I can create a Power Automate just to get the weather and kind of thing. So that's an action, right? Same thing. You can use the data entities. The one I'm not sure I was trying as well. The virtual entities because I was trying few things as well. The virtual entities because I think that's the way Microsoft is going. The virtual entities you can use the virtual entities to get the data using the actions. Yeah, so you can call which data entity that you want because anyway you can update the dataverse using the actions, right?
Still, it's pretty much a user's choice, yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be built, yeah. This is going to be built, yes, exactly. But the other one, the M365, if you use the M365, that will be based on the because that's already trained by Microsoft.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can. That's where we see all the categories and the skills and everything. So you can ask the questions and then it will give you the answers. Yeah. This one is like specific actions. You want to call the specific actions like maybe repeatable actions from the customers or the users. You can have this repeatable ones. You do the repeatable ones and then can call it. Yeah. So that will be very useful. Like if you have repeatable things like, okay, I want to know this number of like what are the pending event invoices or what are the most like warehouses? What are the biggest issues I have in the warehouses in terms of inbound, outbound, certain things like you want to have if you have a like certain thing that you want to ask like directly like an action. I think that we can use that one. But
will it work if I have a vertical solution or add-on? A Copilot will
add-on in the sense like
add-on like example, I have field service in finance and operation.
Yeah.
Will it work as well?
Yeah. If you have field service, so you have the data in the field service in the Dataverse, and then you can get the Dataverse, the FNO data as the virtual entities to the Dataverse, and you pretty much can combine this too, and you can get the answers. The only thing I'm not 100% today is that the Copilot still can work with the virtual entity to call the data, because I was testing, I still haven't been successful on that one. That's the one, but I think that will be there because that's the one they're using for the M365. I think they pretty much will add in someday, if not there, but if they are, then you can use it. Yeah.
Question online. Question online.
Oh, there's a question online. Didn't see it.
Hi, Kasun, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you go back to the purchase order screen again? Yeah, open any of the purchase order. So that's summary by Copilot Fast tab. So have you customized this form, or is it a standard come by default?
Out of the box, yeah. Didn't. The funny thing happened to me today morning. My previous environment went off, so I just have to spin up a new environment. So I was waiting. It was good that I had the session at the last. So yeah, but I was ready with some videos. But yeah, this is better. I can show it here. Yeah.
Let's have a plan B. Well done.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. And via Copilot Studio, we can just add more information within the same summary by Copilot Fast tab.
The fast tab, but yeah, this too is different. Like for the fast tab, I think you have to do it separately. If I think you can do it separately for the fast tab, but this the right side, the Copilot, what they're seeing is that the standard out of the box one, the Copilot for Finance and Operations app. That's the one which I extended using that knowledge previously.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you extend this, and then it will be extended on the right side Copilot. But it won't be the tab fast tabs on here.
Cool. Thank you.
Right. So sending Copilot for Dynamics 365, and also this is what I was talking about, the Dataverse and the Microsoft Copilot Studio. So it will calling from the Dataverse, and you can use X++ sections, executions. Yeah. All this good stuff. And this is where I was doing the Microsoft Copilot Studio extension, right? So that's the same one which I showed that you can extend that using that. And this is the extending Copilot using X++. So you can call, like there are 3 ways, like global actions, form actions, runtime actions. You can call all these actions, right, on top of it. This is where you can use it. So basically you can run the client code based on the user prompt and everything. Yeah. It is because it's FNO is more, data centric. So it has to be, most of them has to be accurate in certain things. Like summarization is fine, but certain other things we have to be careful when we are using it, because we cannot say it is correct. It might not be correct because certain things has to be accurate, right? So the hallucinations has to be removed a lot, and the grounding and stuff like that. Certain summarizations, it's fine because it's a summary, not an actual figure. But if you want to have an actual figure, it has to be some of the actions. I think you can use the X++ actions for that. So there are agents that can be used with FNO. So you have supplier communication agent, financial reconciliation agent, account reconciliation agent, time and expense agent. So this is the supply communication agent, and I think this is the one Copilot for Finance that is, I think that would be the financial reconciliation agent. Yeah, these are the new agents which Microsoft announced. There are 10, but the 4 I think I picked for the FNO side of it.
The out of the box agents.
These are, I think they might need license depending, I don't know, the licensing structure, because this is just came in.
Yeah.
Might need a premium license. And which is the same thing they did with the demand planning, that you have 10 premium licenses for the demand planning app. You have to have 10 users running with the premium licenses for the SEM. Yeah. Okay. So let's buy the the application data and stuff. So ultimately what we're talking about data in, data out. That's the most important part of which is like, okay, you have an app or maybe a process, but you put in the data, taking out the data. So the most important thing, if you can think of this one in terms of should be what is the most critical one in this site? Huh?
Making sure it's clean.
I'm very
Exactly.
curious.
So I give you a percent. Yeah, data quality. Data quality is the most
I'm
important
very
part of
curious
it.
to ask another question.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that pilot doesn't make up information that we're asking them for?
Sorry, didn't
Are
get
there
it.
any mechanisms to make sure that
Yeah.
that copilot will not make up the information that they are providing to us?
Make up, you mean the hallucination part of it? Yeah, that's I think the X plus plus. I mean, for the FNO part of it, I would say X plus plus ones are the.
Plus, it's like
Then you'll be exactly calling
but
that
if you're
functionality.
just using the engine, so
Yeah.
without the actionable codes,
So that's why if you see all the AI ones like the previous one as well, like you have the below here. This is the one you have.
Absolutely, yeah.
It didn't.
See the terms.
You have to see the terms.
Yeah.
What I do sometimes is I include in my prompt, how confident are you, and give me reasons why.
Yeah.
And that works. It gives me at least a good indication.
that's
So
where
it's
I
not
want
100%, but
That's where I want
sometimes I get like a,
That's a
and I
good
say
concept.
from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And when it's in the middle, you think, nah, it's probably kind of, and it's 9 or 10. And it has always was very clear that it's pretty sure.
Yeah, 100%.
That actually works quite well.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, this is where I wanted to come. I'll go into that direction, which you come in. Yeah, good.
Great minds think alike.
Data in, data out, but the quality of the data matters, right? If you have garbage, doesn't matter whether you AI, whatever the thing.
Still a broken wheel.
Exactly. Yeah. So make sure at this stage the data will be, more quality data, right? Yeah, data should be quality. And I think it's good if you guys listen to the podcast, ecosystem podcast. I was a big fan of Mark's podcast. So if you want to learn more on the AI stuff, like what are the strategies that you have to use and all those things, please listen to Mark's one. It's wonderful to talk about all these, the AI things that we need to be considering. Yeah. So that's a beautiful podcast. I would recommend.
Which one is it, sorry? Mark?
Smith. Yeah, the ecosystem podcast.
What is that?
Yeah. And that talks a lot about the AI and how the market is moving and what are the key things. Yeah. In terms of this is one of the things that it's talk about the quality of the data. Okay, so what is critical for Copilot and agent? So I've come up with 5 things. What are the critical ones? So the input quality is one that is needed, I think. Clean, structured prompts, clear context and instructions, because that's where we will remove the hallucinations, make sure it is more grounded stuff, right? The input quality and our prompts are more important, right? Context management, so maintaining conversation history, understanding the user intent. So these ones are as well in terms of the context management. And output, consistent response formats, validation of generated content. We have to validate the generated content, consistent response out, because if you don't have the consistent response format, then it's no point, right? Sometimes it might not be accurate as what you think, right? Feedback loop, so it needs to run through user feedback collection, continuous improvement, and then the safety as well, security checks, compliance with guidelines, ethical considerations, all important, right? Okay, this is where I was trying to come. So you pointed earlier. So the types of ethical concerns raised by the AI algorithms for ERP and CRM. So this is what I'm inconclusive evidence, instructable, inscrutable evidence, misguided evidence, unfair outcomes, transformative effects, and traceability. Like this is one of the important ones for me as well, like the traceability. How do you trace, right? Like how do you justify the outcome? But I see like certain things that which Microsoft is coming up now. You can go back and track like what has been done. Like certain things are coming back. Like this is the traceability, because traceability part is very important when it comes to FNO and I mean the ERP and CRM world. And you need to justify that actions, how it, how the system predicts this. These things, I think in the future it will be more and more coming into the picture on how do you, these things has to be looked at very carefully. And I think this is like a journey. So it is the start of it. Like it will take few years to these things will be coming. And the responsible AI, I don't know whether you have seen the responsible AI. This is the Microsoft responsible AI. You have accountability, explainability, accuracy, secure, transparency, fairness, human control, privacy. So all these are the main pillars of the responsible part of it. I've written some blog about it as well. So this one, I will give you the links on the later. So this is the responsible AI, which is really key part of when you're building an AI application, it is very important, right? You have to think about all these aspects as well. That if you fail any aspect, that will have a problematic one as well. Like, yeah. So I mean, I don't know whether you have seen like earlier, like in New Zealand, I don't name the company, but it gives some a chatbot that can ask questions. So when you ask the questions, it will be giving you a recipe, but that recipe was including nitrogen and all those things. So it is not. So they haven't tested it, right? I mean, tested in the sense like it is not fulfilling this responsible AI principles. That's the part of it. So whenever you build it, you have to hack through it, do the red teaming and everything, to make sure that all these things are eliminated. So this is the 6 guiding principles. That's the same thing pretty much. And yeah, sure. And you can also report if you have any issues. Like if you haven't, I don't know if you have come across, like if you have any issues on the responsible AI issues. So this is a link pretty much. You can report to Microsoft. Tell them there's an issue on the apps and all those things. Like if you come across responsible AI issues, yeah. And these are the resources. So I think the last one is like I think the podcast, ecosystem podcast, the last one. And the other ones, I think I have all the Microsoft ones, and this is my blog.